Are you thinking of taking your toddler to the Edinburgh Fringe? Brave, but definitely doable. Here's what I wish I'd known before we went. Hi everyone, I'm Morven, mum to toddler Amber who's 18 months, and together with my husband Neil, we make videos about our holidays and day trips. We explore Scotland and beyond, and if this sounds like your cup of tea, please subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of exciting trips coming up and I can't wait to share them all with you. So this summer we took Amber to the Edinburgh Fringe twice, and although I wouldn't say it was easy, it's definitely achievable if you plan your day well. So I've got 5 bits of advice here and I'm going to share them with you. Firstly, choose wisely. When you're booking your tickets or just browsing the shows, you can filter by age suitability. Some of the shows have tags like family friendly, 18 plus or whatever. So when I was looking, I filtered for suitable from 0 plus and also family friendly, just so that I was picking shows that were going to be enjoyable for Amber. There was quite a lot of kids shows that I would say were more for like school age kids, a lot of sciencey shows, like game shows and things like that wouldn't really have been appropriate for a toddler. I'm sure it would have been fine for her to sit through, but she wouldn't have really been that engaged, I don't think. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about the shows that we went to. The first show that we went to was called Bubblicious. It was absolutely brilliant. We loved that one. It was so good. It was really engaging for all the toddlers there. It was mainly babies and toddlers at that one. It was a really nice Australian couple who did that show. I'll put in some clips and you can have a look for yourself.
Day 2. If you would like to keep a balloon, you are very welcome.
Got your balloon, Amber? The second show we went to was called Hello Birds, and it was like a very artsy puppet show for babies and toddlers. It was kind of like actually like a baby class. It was lovely. It was like a really calming show, very sensory, lovely, really nice. It was a little bit more expensive. I'll put the details up on screen. I've got some clips from that, so I'll put them in here as well.
Blackbird. Blackbird has black feathers and a bright yellow beak. Worms and fruit and seeds. I plant seeds in the garden, but I don't want Robin to eat those seeds. So I always bring some fruit for the birds. Can we all find a piece of fruit for Robin? There should be plenty in the garden.
There's some apples.
Find a berry or an apple or something. Robin will come to you.
Give him the fruit. Look, hold the fruit. Oh, look. Whoa.
It might come to you.
And then the third show that we went to was called Into the Blue. Now, this was on the second day that we went to the Fringe, and it was on like the hottest day of the summer. It was so hot. But I chose that show because one of the performers of that show gave me a flyer when we were in the first day. And I noticed when we were walking around that if you're walking with a child or a pram or whatever, people don't tend to approach you with flyers, probably because the shows aren't suitable for children, but this one did come to me with a flyer, so I thought, oh, that's interesting. It was an a cappella show from a group of students from, I think it was Oxford University, and it was brilliant. It was so good. I loved it. We actually met some of the cast afterwards, and Amber loved it. She loved all the songs. They had a Frozen section.
Wanna build a snowman. Doesn't have to be a snowman. Go away, son. Okay, bye. Some dads never change. Like the feeling of your hand in mine. Some dads stay the same. Like how we get along just fine. Like an old someone. I am lost in the world. Lost in the world. When you're gone.
So although it wasn't necessarily for children, I think she might have been the only child that was in there. She was definitely the youngest one in the show, but she was very entertained. She loved the songs. So that was a kind of a different one that we tried, and it turned out quite well. Again, it was, I think, about £12 per adult, and Amber didn't pay. The thing with some of the baby and toddler shows is it can work out quite expensive because you have to pay for the child and both the adults, which I understand what they're trying to do and they have to make money, but it does make it quite expensive for families, for some of the kids shows. So my second tip is be prepared for chaos. It's going to be busy. It's going to be a nightmare walking around with the pram. That said, if you are able to just use a carrier, that might be an idea, because as you know, Edinburgh is full of cobbled streets, and that plus hundreds and thousands of people descending on for the Fringe is quite busy, and it makes it a little bit stressful. Speaking of the buggy, most of the venues that we went to, in fact all of them, they make you leave your buggy either outside or in a sort of safe, separate area of the venue, so you can't take it with you. So just bear that in mind when you're planning your day. My third tip is to plan for downtime in your day. Don't be too ambitious and try and go to 4 or 5 different shows. Personally, I think 2 shows a day is about right if you're going with a toddler. Most of the kids shows will be in the morning between sort of 9 o'clock and midday. So even if you wanted to go to like 4 or 5 different shows, it wouldn't really be possible if you're choosing kid focused shows. If you have kids, you'll know that you need time to change nappies, time to have snacks. So yeah, don't try and fit too much in. My fourth tip is to look at the map before you go and make sure you know where the location is that you're heading to and what's around the location. Similarly, when you're booking your tickets, don't book a show that's at one end of town and then another one that's at the complete opposite, because it'll just give you stress that you don't need, and it'll take a long time to get between the venues. You'll be rushing trying to get there. So yeah, be strategic when you're booking your tickets. I would say 5-10 minutes walk between maximum. By chance, most of the shows that we wanted to go to were around the Assembly George Square area. There was a lot of facilities in that spot for families. When you looked around, it was mainly people with children who were in that area. There was lots of food stalls, there was toilets, changing facilities, places to sit down, shaded areas, which was really important on the day that it was really hot. So yeah, just be aware of where you're heading to and where you can get the things you need to get. And finally, I would say just go and embrace the mayhem. It's going to be chaos, it's going to be quite difficult at times, but the enjoyment that Amber got out of the shows was definitely worth it, and I enjoyed it too. I loved Into the Blue. It was really fantastic. I'd love to go and see them again. And the kids shows were great. It was also just nice to be in Edinburgh and sort of soaking up the atmosphere of the Fringe. It's like nothing else really, and we're so lucky to have it on our doorstep here. Even just wandering about and going to see some of the free street performers, if you're not ready to go and commit to buying a ticket, you could just go in and look at some of the street performers. There's always people around doing all sorts of crazy stuff. When we went up the Royal Mile, there was singers, buskers, there was like loads of different dance groups doing little you know, on the spot performances. There was even a woman who, I think she was like a fire eater or something. We didn't stay too long and watch her, but yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that you can see on the Royal Mile. And yes, it is going to be like you're sandwiched between people and trying to get around, you know, people that are not moving, and with the pram it is difficult, but treat it like any other day out with your toddler. You know your limitations and what you can reasonably achieve and what's going to be fun for them. So that's my 5 tips for surviving the Fringe with a toddler. I hope you managed to get something out of that. I'm not an expert, I'm just someone who's been to the Fringe. Hi, hi, bye-bye, bye-bye. This is what I would tell my friend if they wanted to know how to get through a day at the Fringe with their kids. Have you been to the Fringe? Did you go to any shows? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll say bye for now. Bye.